For this lab, it's going to be useful to be able to rename attributes, and this is something that you can't do with shapefiles, and you cannot do it with old geodatabases. But if you have a new geodatabase and you made a feature class in that geodatabase in ArcMap 10.1, the software will let you rename attributes, but not for shapefiles. So I'll show you a couple of different methods of dealing with this. First, I'm going to show you how to effectively rename an attribute in for a shapefile. And what this really means is I'm going to make a new attribute and copy the contents of that new attribute from an existing attribute. So here is my land cover shapefile. Here I'll show you the attributes that I've got, land cover and confidence, and this LC. The scenario here is that I'd rather have an attribute called LC 2006 to reflect the date in the attribute name. LC doesn't tell me which date this is associated with, and when I do a union operation, I'll see LC, but it won't be clear to me which attribute goes with which date. So I'm going to, so what I want here is an attribute with the name LC 1980 or LC 2006 in my data sets. And so I can't rename these attributes here, or these fields here, but what I can do is make a new field. So let me close this box here. And in our catalog, I need to make sure that I'm not in a current editing session. You don't want to be modifying the attributes when you're in a current editing session. But I'll find my data set in our catalog over here, right click and choose properties, and then I have these tabs over here and select the fields tab. Now if I were working with a geodatabase created in ArcMap 10.1, then I could go here, single click, and then just add on 2006 like this. Unfortunately, I get an error message when I try to do this on a shapefile. So what I've got to do is make a new attribute just by clicking down here and typing in the values that I want. I'm going to make a short integer field because this is going to be a field that just has ones and zeros, and I click OK. And then now in that data set, if I right click now and look at my attribute table, I now see my LC 2006, and it's got zeros because I just created it and everything is empty. But what I want to do is basically take all the values from my LC attribute or my land cover attribute. The values are identical between these two fields here. And then I want to apply the values for each record here from LC to my LC 2006. So to do that, I just right click on LC 2006 here, and I choose the field calculator. It'll give me a warning message saying that I'm doing this outside of an edit session and that it won't be able to undo this. I'm okay with that. I know what I'm doing, and I'm not worried about modifying the values in this case. So I'm going to click yes here, and I have this field calculator dialog box, and it can be a little confusing first time you look at it, but what you really just need to focus on is that I'm creating an equation down here that will assign a value to my LC 2006 field right here. In this case, I just want to assign the value from an existing field in that table. So I could go in and assign the value of 2 or the value of 3 to every single record, but in this case I really want to take the value that's currently in the field LC and assign that to my LC 2006 field. So you do that by double clicking. If you just type in LC here, that's not the correct syntax. You need to put these brackets around it, and the easiest way to do that and make sure you're getting the syntax right is to just double click in this list of fields up here. So what this is going to do is for every record in my table, it's going to look and see what the value is in the LC field, and it's going to copy that value to the LC 2006 field. So here's the syntax here. I'm going to click OK, and then just watch and see how it updates the values here in the LC 2006 field. Okay, there it is. So now I've got values of 1s here, and if I had anything other than a 1 down below, that will be reflected. So this is A clumsy way, but it's a workable way to rename or to get a field in my attribute table that has the name that I want. Now I'm going to also show you how to do this in a new geodatabase. So imagine that I had a new geodatabase. This is Banana geodatabase, is one that I created in ArcMap 10.1, and I've got a feature class here called Banana. And if I go to this one and go to Properties and then Fields, I can rename this attribute right here. So I can call this LC 2006 if I want, click OK, and it works OK. Now, here's another geodatabase that was created in a previous version of ArcMap, this Van Buren boundary. I right-click here, go to Properties, click on Fields, and I try to rename one of these things here, like Shape Area, and it won't let me rename these things. I'm single-clicking here, but it won't let me modify the field names. I know it's a little confusing, but the bottom line is for geodatabases created in ArcMap 10.1, you can modify the field names and feature classes, but in shape files or in geodatabases that were created prior to version 10.1, you basically just need to make a new attribute, give it the name that you want, and copy the values for an existing attribute to your new attribute.